Call of Duty Black Ops 6, we're doing a comparison. On the left we have Xbox Series X, on the right we have Xbox Series S. These videos are a ton of work to put together, so be sure to like the videos. Subscribing is great as well. So we have a selection of scenarios here showcasing some of the more cinematic setups so that the two can be directly compared, and some that are more direct gameplay, but everything should be relatively close together in terms of scenes and scenery so that you get an ideal look at the two going face to face with one another. So let's dive in and talk about the details here of the two Xbox Series consoles. With Xbox Series X on the left again, we have a dynamic 4K resolution at 60 FPS. On the right, we have a dynamic 1440p at 60 FPS for the Series S. Of course, the two will be resolution scaling to some degree, but they do relatively keep close to their targeted resolutions. Just depends on how crazy the scenes get, but for the campaign where things are relatively safe and easy going and not really pushing boundaries, you do get a very comparable picture between the two, just of course with that big resolution gap, and in some scenarios you can definitely notice the fidelity of, or well really the resolution picture of the two quite a bit in terms of the differences between them. So there's also a higher frame rate mode for both the consoles. I'm not showcasing it here because I thought it wouldn't really make sense. It does 120 FPS is the target for both of them. The Series X in that situation is dynamic 1440p. The Series S is dynamic 1080p. You do get a lot more of a resolution change and a more of aggressive resolution scaling, particularly for the Series S in that particular situation. And also you don't get like quite close to the same frame rate for the Series S as you do for the Series X. There is quite a gap there, so comparably I didn't necessarily think it was needed to showcase the two in that particular scenario and situation. Those are also something that is more for the multiplayer experience of the game. Multiplayer is also very comparable between the two. The campaign is going to be the closest, if that makes sense, because the campaign is more restricted, more set up, especially with Black Ops 6 having tighter scenarios, more traditionally set up narrow levels, and just a tighter sense of scope for the detail and the world. But you will notice between the two, the geometry all seems to be about the same. It's just the fidelity and the fidelity in the further distance that is different. Previously, I had done the Xbox One version, and that one was missing certain little bits of geometry, like little branches and stuff like that, for plants and little details here or there, alongside resolution scaling. But you can tell here the two are fairly comparable to each other, and the casino is actually a very good comparison for the two, because I think the grand scale of it, you could really see the enhanced sharpness of the Series X a lot more than you can with the Series S, which does have some jaggedy elements here or there, but for the most part both of them do again look pretty clean, all things considered. So this is a great scenario here to show off combat. Somehow kept the two pretty close together, and they actually synchronized beautifully right at the end, which again, a pat on the back for myself on that one, as I did like all three versions of Xbox, and it all kind of lined up well between the different versions. So very proud of that particular scenario and setup for COD here. I think it turned out great. Yeah, so I would say for multiplayer and zombies, you're going to notice that resolution a little bit more aggressively, depending on how crazy the scenes do get, especially like zombies, where you get like huge hordes in tight areas. You're going to notice that resolution scaling a lot more, particularly if you're doing that high frame rate mode. And you're also going to notice that there is quite a gap in the actual frame rate ability of the Series S, as it is not hitting full up to 120, whereas the Series X actually does a really good job of keeping close to that fluidity level while still retaining a relatively clean picture, one that we saw improved quite a bit over the span of the Modern Warfare 3.2 era of COD, where there was a big update about halfway through, which actually bumped up the visual fidelity quite a bit from what it was scaling to, and that was a very, very impressive update for Call of Duty at that time. And it does seem like the same engine, same tech, everything like that is presenting a picture that is very similar to what we were getting with the previous Modern Warfare 3.2 entry, but just in a Black Ops setup, which is great for high fidelity and high quality. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to leave some non-commentary gameplay so you can see more of the two in action, and I hope this covered the difference between Series X and Series S.
Your time to shine. Win that table and you'll have access to the High Roller Lounge. My new friend here is so generous. He keeps giving me all his chips.
Where I'm from, we teach our kids to win with grace and humility.
I'm afraid you are not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. This is a game for adults, not school children. That bar is mine.
I got a camera feed behind that schmuck. Time to turn your luck around.
We here to talk or play cards?
Bet. Go.
A fearless American does not know when to take a bow, huh?
Bet.
I can't see his damn cards. Shake things up a little.
My opponent is not only fearless, but quite possibly insane.
He's got 9 and 10 of clubs. Nothing there. Raise.
Raise.
Such confidence.
Call.
Should I practice merci, ma chérie? Huh?
He's bluffing. He still ain't got shit.
Signore Bado checks.
Raise it.
Signore Marshall bets.
You got this, motherfucker.
Call. And now, the final card.
His only chance is... God damn, lucky bastard got us straight.
All in.
Sev, do your thing. Marshall, whatever's up your sleeve, time to use it.
Your drink, signore.
Oh, you must be...
I'm so sorry, sir. Please, let me help.
What are you doing?
I'm terribly
Stop.
sorry.
You're making it worse. Just leave me alone, huh?
Oh, man. You need a minute?
No. Just go away. Continue the game.
All in. Gentlemen, showdown please. 4 jacks.
What?
Signor Marshall wins.
How did this happen? Yeah.
Good game. Moving to the High Roller Lounge. What? You see the pit boss in there?
He's there. Got a key card hanging right off his ass.
That's what we need. Once I get in and create a distraction, I'll grab the card and hand it off to Felix.
Felix, you in position? Of course.